Why Sheldon didn't return for Georgie and Mandy's first marriage Thanksgiving episode explained by creator. For fans of The Big Bang Theory, Thanksgiving episodes have long been a holiday tradition, and they're notorious for chaos, awkward family dynamics, and most importantly, the occasional character absence that leaves us scratching our heads. This year, however, the absence of one particularly beloved character, Sheldon Cooper, at Georgie and Mandy's first marriage Thanksgiving episode caused quite a stir online. Social media exploded with theories, fan complaints, and speculative reasoning as to why Sheldon wasn't present for what was supposed to be a milestone gathering for the Cooper clan. Now, thanks to an in-depth interview with the show's creator, Chuck Lorre, the mystery has finally been unraveled, and it's not what most fans expected. The Thanksgiving tradition, chaos, laughter, and Sheldon. Before diving into the reasoning behind Sheldon's absence, it's worth revisiting why his presence, or lack thereof, is significant. Thanksgiving episodes have always been a prime canvas for The Big Bang Theory to explore familial awkwardness, the clash of personalities, and, of course, the scientific lens through which Sheldon interprets human behavior. In past episodes, Sheldon's attendance or insistence on rules, traditions, and perfectly measured seating arrangements has often been the source of comic tension. Whether it was his obsession with seating charts in The Thanksgiving Decorum Dilemma or his baffling attempts to turn the holiday into a physics experiment, Sheldon's presence has historically elevated both the chaos and the humor. So when Georgie Cooper, Sheldon's younger brother, and his new wife Mandy were featured in a Thanksgiving episode celebrating their first married holiday, fans naturally expected Sheldon to take part in the festivities. After all, this episode was a culmination of years of character development and hinted at potential reconciliation, compromise, and heartfelt family moments. Social media uproar. Where's Sheldon? Upon the episode's release, fan forums, Reddit threads, and Twitter feeds were instantly abuzz. Hashtags like #WhereIsSheldon, #SheldonAbsent, and #Thanksgiving without Sheldon trended within hours. Memes proliferated, showing Sheldon in hypothetical scenarios ranging from building a quantum turkey farm to being trapped in a closet due to mandatory seating chart violations. The absence was not just noticed, it became a talking point. Some fans speculated it was a narrative choice designed to highlight Georgie and Mandy's autonomy, while others assumed it was simply a scheduling issue. A few more daring theories went so far as to suggest Sheldon had secretly relocated for an experimental Thanksgiving in space or had been abducted by rogue scientists. Chuck Lorre breaks the silence. In an exclusive interview, Chuck Lorre addressed the reasons behind the absence of Sheldon Cooper. Contrary to popular fan theories, it wasn't a simple actor scheduling conflict, nor was it a narrative oversight. Instead, Lorre explained that the decision was a deliberate storytelling choice rooted in both character development and thematic resonance. The Thanksgiving episode was never about Sheldon, Lorre admitted. It was about Georgie and Mandy stepping into their own world as a married couple. For years, Sheldon has been the center of the narrative, the pivot around which so many plotlines revolve. This particular holiday episode was designed to spotlight the Coopers' next generation, literally and figuratively, without overshadowing them with Sheldon's idiosyncrasies. Lorre emphasized that this absence allowed the show to explore Georgie's growth as a husband and Mandy's integration into the Cooper family. Sometimes the most interesting storytelling comes from absence, from allowing the secondary characters to shine. It was a rare opportunity to let Georgie and Mandy take center stage and show that the Cooper family is larger than just Sheldon. A bold narrative choice. While fans may have initially been frustrated, Lorre's rationale reveals a bold narrative strategy that resonates with broader storytelling principles. Absence, when used intentionally, can heighten anticipation, tension, and emotional stakes. By removing Sheldon from the Thanksgiving setting, the writers created a space for subtle character exploration. 1. Georgie's maturity. For the first time, Georgie is portrayed not as Sheldon's younger brother, but as an individual capable of navigating family dynamics independently. Viewers witness his attempts to balance tradition with personal choice, demonstrating growth that wouldn't have been as visible with Sheldon present. 2. Mandy's integration. Mandy, often overshadowed in previous episodes, is given room to showcase her personality, wit, and perspective on Cooper family eccentricities. This episode allowed her character to flourish without the constant lens of Sheldon's superiority or scientific pedantry. 3. Family dynamics. By removing Sheldon's voice, normally dominating with commentary, corrections, and unsolicited advice, the episode provided a more realistic portrayal of family dynamics. Arguments, reconciliations, and the inherent chaos of holiday gatherings unfolded organically, reflecting what real families experience when the big personality isn't controlling the scene. Actor availability and narrative symbiosis. While Lore stressed that the absence was intentional, he also acknowledged that actors' scheduling logistics always play a role in production decisions. Jim Parsons, who famously portrayed Sheldon, had a busy schedule with multiple post-TBBT projects. However, Lore was quick to point out that the storyline would have worked even if Parsons had been available. The episode's heart was never dependent on Sheldon being present, Lore said. Even if Jim could have appeared, we would have chosen to exclude him because the story required it. Sometimes, storytelling decisions and actor availability align perfectly or clash, but this was purely a narrative choice. This comment underlines a critical lesson in episodic storytelling. Character absence can be just as powerful as presence. By not relying on Sheldon's comedic magnetism, the writers took a calculated risk that ultimately paid off in narrative richness. Fan reactions. Understanding the choice. While some fans initially bristled at Sheldon's absence, many later acknowledged the creative intent behind it. Online discussions began to shift from frustration to appreciation, with threads analyzing subtle nods to Sheldon's influence. Mentions and Easter eggs. Although Sheldon was absent, the episode cleverly referenced his quirks through dialogue, props, and situational humor. For example, a meticulously labeled turkey carving set subtly hinted at Sheldon's obsession with order, and Georgie's occasional exasperated remarks referenced his brother's past antics. Indirect humor. The absence allowed secondary characters to showcase humor without relying on Sheldon's well-established comedic patterns. This made the episode feel fresh and allowed the ensemble cast to shine in unexpected ways. Emotional payoff. The episode concluded with a quiet moment that felt distinctly Sheldon-esque, despite his physical absence, a reminder that characters can influence a narrative even when off-screen. Fans on Reddit noted that the episode's structure mirrored the dynamics of many real-life holiday gatherings. Not every family member is present, and yet their influence permeates the room. One user wrote, "Sheldon's absence made the Coopers feel real." Families aren't just one person, and this episode reminded us of that beautifully. A template for future storytelling. Chuck Lorre's explanation also signals a broader approach to character-centered storytelling. Sometimes restraint is the most powerful tool. By Intentiona,